Good evening. This is a meeting of the Township Committee, January 18th, 2022. The notice requirements provided for in the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied. Notice of this meeting was properly given by transmission to the Asbury Park Press, the Independent, and the Two River Times, and by posting at the Middletown Township Municipal Building and filing with the Township Clerk all on January 7th, 2022. Committeeman Clark.
Here.
Committeewoman Kratz. Here. Committeeman Sedambrino.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Here.
Mayor Perry.
Here.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I'd like to ask for a moment of silence under the troops serving worldwide, defending our constitutions, freedoms, and way of life. Thank you. Our first item on tonight's agenda, we have administration of the oath of office, the promotional oaths of office for Middletown Township Police Department. At this time, I'd like to invite Sergeant Anthony J. Gigante to please come forward with your family. Yeah, they can.
You want to come right behind for the pictures. Left on the Bible, raise your right hand towards God and repeat after me. I, Anthony J. Gigante,
I, Anthony J. Gigante,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
and the Constitution of the United States. I'm sorry.
The State of New Jersey.
I was nervous a minute ago about that. Don't worry about it. I'm first not supporting, I couldn't remember my name.
And that I will bear true faith
That I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
And I do swear
And I do swear
to faithfully,
to faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all of the duties
all of the duties
of police lieutenant
of police lieutenant
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. This work. You take the pointy end. You have to big man, that's all you
I don't have my glasses.
got a little bit to go.
I know Chief Weber is going to say something. You can run, but you can't.
Lieutenant Gigante, joined the police department in 1998. He's a graduate of Middletown High School North, William Patterson University, formerly college. He has a bachelor's degree in communication. He served with distinction in the department. He was a member of the Patrol Bureau. He served 2 years undercover with the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office as a narcotics detective. He's one of our lead instructors for the Police Youth Week. He's the commander of the Emergency Services Unit. I think he's been a member of the Emergency Service Unit for over 20 years now. He's also a FAA licensed police drone pilot and a robot operator too. He operates two of our robots. So he's an integral part of the department. Currently working in police administration, and we were considering him for spokesperson until we just had that missing. Excited. So we've been looking forward to this. We had a couple of retirements recently, and we got some wonderful candidates. I know they do a great job. Congratulations to you.
Seals for you.
Love that.
One more question.
Nice to meet you.
Let's talk about that.
Flying my trooper. All right.
Chance.
Go.
Yep, shake hands.
Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah. Good.
Our next promotion, we have Police Officer Stephen G. Greenwood. Please come forward with your family.
Oh, I love it. Sharpest looking guy in the room. Like that. I, Stephen G. Greenwood,
I, Stephen G. Greenwood,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
bear true faith
and allegiance to the
and
same
allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people,
And I do swear
and I do swear
to faithfully,
to faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all of the duties
all the duties
of police sergeant
of police sergeant
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. You want to get the badge?
Scary. Hold there. Not straight in.
Sergeant Greenwood is a graduate of Red Bank Regional High School, the Community College of the Air Force. He currently serves as a Master Sergeant in the National Guard. He has deployed to South Korea and Iraq in his military service. He is a third-generation police officer. His grandfather and his father is the retired chief of Little Silver, New Jersey, and Webster, Florida. It's commendable. Sergeant Greenwood is probably one of our most experienced canine handlers. He has had 3 canines up to this point, has deployed hundreds of times throughout the state and locally. He's also a member of the Emergency Services Unit, taser instructor, a canine trainer, certified with New Jersey State Police. A number of awards and commendations too. So I know he's going to do a great job. We're very happy. Thanks.
Your son has a little pressure, huh?
No.
What's your name? I give you a hand, same as mine.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna give you this one, and then you can go right up onto the dais, okay?
Right. Thanks, congratulations. Great job.
For our final promotion tonight, I would like to invite Police Officer Brady Emcar to please come forward with your family.
Nice. I, Brady M. Carr,
I, Brady M. Carr,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New
and
Jersey,
the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
And I do swear
And I do swear
to faithfully,
faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all of the duties
all the duties
of police sergeant
of police sergeant
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Don't be the first person to draw blood. Jeffrey. All right, Sergeant Carr is a graduate of Middletown Township High School. He was previously employed by the Asbury Park Police Department as a special officer. He's honorably discharged from the United States Marine Corps, having served 3 tours of duty in Iraq. Joined the Middletown Police Department in 2010, where he's also a lead instructor in our 5th grade curriculum and classrooms. He is a member of the Youth Week leadership team as well, a member of the Emergency Services Unit, and has served with distinction. So I want to thank the mayor and the administrator for allowing us to make these promotions, which are the results of some retirements. And I just want to stress the importance of their job, their mission. It's really the frontline supervisors are the most critical part of the job. We have young officers at the scene of critical incidents making split-second decisions in real time. It's not the bosses that are in the office reading reports the next day. It's the frontline supervisors that really hold it together and guide everybody. So I just want to commend them and wish them well. And I'm very happy for everybody. They did a good job.
Thank you. Congratulations.
So right here and right here. Okay.
Sure, you're lefties. How do we let that happen?
Yeah, yes, yeah.
It's unacceptable.
Yeah, you guys take this one, you can go up on the.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Ciao.
Sorry for Greenwood.
No, that's right. Their show.
3.
Take your hands.
Okay, my right.
Perfect. Thank you.
That is for you.
Thanks.
So
We did a short recess. Or you want to wait?
I prefer not to.
Our next item on tonight's agenda, we have presentations. The first presentation is a 2021 Mayor's Challenge Check presentation to Infinite Love for Kids Fighting Cancer. I'd like to invite the Middletown Recreation Director, Janet Dellett, and the Gorsinger family to please come to the front of the room.
So just before I turn it over to Janet, take that to any bank, they'll cash it.
So really fast, I just want to say a few quick words. 3 years ago, Jen? 3 years ago, the town decided to embark on the mayor's challenge. It was made up of what finalized and culminated to be a 5K at the end. Many have gone in, many have failed, including myself, in terms of dying of breath by the end of this 5K. The deputy mayor still holds it over my head that how long it took me. But what this is all about is not about the 5K. It's about bringing people together and being able to raise some money for a great cause. Infinite Love for Kids has a special place in my heart. The Gorsinger family does an unbelievable job. Chief Gorsinger here, the Gorsinger family has dedicated their lives to this township, but they have done something bigger and better than a lot of people have, and that is stand up and help families that have received a diagnosis that no family should go through, and that's cancer, pediatric cancer. So Infinite Love through the pandemic, through everything, will continue to raise money. Andrea is going on her Peloton, I think pretty soon, actually, next week, right? Yeah, next week, where she and the folks from all across, a few folks from across Middletown are helping her out in riding her Peloton for 24 straight hours, raising money for pediatric cancer. This is what Middletown's all about, right? You got to see the best in our police department. You got to, from leadership on down, Chief Weber, our promotions today, and then also how our community comes together and is able to raise money. Now, $1,700. The goal next year is more. It's 1,707. That's the goal next year, because every little bit counts, as they say, and every little bit is able to send kids to all vacations. I know, help families pay their mortgages because they lose an income because one of the parents stays home with them, pays for transportation, hospital expenses that we all don't think about. And I see our fire department chief Chenoweth here and Chief King, and I want to point them out because Chief Waltz, his son Brady, was diagnosed with cancer a few years back, and as the father of a 18-month-old kid, 18-month-old daughter, I just couldn't imagine the impact that this has. And a special shout out to Committeeman Clark, who I know shaves his head every year, raising funds for this charity. So this is a charity for Middletown. It's a charity by Middletown, and it's a charity everybody can get behind, because no person ever wants to see a child be diagnosed with cancer. No person wants to see a child go through that pain. No person wants to know that there's a mom, a dad, grandma, grandpa who's having to deal and know that their son or daughter is about to go through something that they're not even sure that they can make it through themselves. But Infinite Love keeps it going. And that's why I'm so proud for the second year to be able to bring this to Infinite Love for Kids. And that's why we'll continue to raise the awareness for this great charity. So on behalf of the township, we know that money's going to go to great use. We know that each and every dollar is going to be utilized in a special way. And we couldn't be more proud for you and for Infinite Love. Hannah and Natalie, for everything that you do, it's just much appreciated. And I know Janet's got a couple stats, but I just want to thank the Gorsinger family. Your mom and dad are excellent people. Your whole family is just great people that I'm fortunate to know. So thank you all. Janet?
So along with a couple quick stats, I also have the drill check, so you're gonna want this.
What?
Yeah. Try maybe a picture, mobile deposit.
Yeah.
So like the mayor was saying, this is the third year we've done it. The first year we did it, we benefited the police, fire, OEM, and EMS. And the past 2 years, we've obviously benefited Infinite Love. The first year we did it, we had about 105 people doing it, that registrants that did it. In 2020, which was obviously COVID year, fun year, We did it virtual. We only had 91 participants, but this past year we had 199, which is fantastic. So next year we can break in 200 for sure. But the company that we used for the sign up is called Run Sign Up. And what we like so much about that is when you go to sign up to register for the race, you also have the optional donation. If you want to, you can donate $1, you can donate $100, whatever you want. So that's really fun. And when we did that this year, we received $1,390 specifically, not registration fee, that's specifically for your cause, which is wonderful. It shows how much people care. So we're really happy about that. So we realized $1,700 may not be a lot in the grand scheme of things, but we're really happy to be able to donate to you guys. So congratulations.
Thank
John's already running away with the check.
All right. Anytime, my friend. Good to see you. See you later. All right. Just throw it right in.
The ATM right outside. Right outside.
See you. You got it. All right, last one.
Yes. Go ahead.
For our next presentation, we have a presentation recognizing the Concordia family for the Middletown Luminaria Night fundraiser. I'd like to invite Middletown Township Fire Department chiefs and the Concordia family to join Mayor Perry at the front of the room.
Chief. Good to see you.
In person, not right. So, very quickly, thank you, Brady. Very quickly, last year, this great Leecroft family. You're not the village, it's right. I knew it. I don't know why I said that. I said up the village section. But the Concordia family came to the town and had this idea. They just recently moved to town, all that not long before they had approached us or they had an idea from Pennsylvania Church to do this in their neighborhood. And that was to bring together a community to show support for one another in whatever way we could. And with this idea, it landed that we were putting out these luminaries, right? These bags of sand and simple candles inside to show support. And in a time of incredible need, it was something that was really great to have and see happen in a time when the community really needed to come together. So, are you speaking on behalf of the team here? No? I'll let them describe what I was talking about.
Sure. So we've been here for 20 years, but my wife and I, Lindsay, are from Pennsylvania. They've been doing this for, I think, 20 years. So we thought, with the pandemic going on, it'd be nice to bring everybody together and do something to benefit. So we had the idea of raising awareness to the fire department, which is all volunteers. A lot of people don't know that they do rely on community support, both for funds and for volunteers. And we partnered with Middletown Township. So they keep everything in the community. We wanted to do something for Middletown. So it was very successful. We didn't expect it to be as big as it was, and we really kind of had to cut it short because we had to order supplies. We had to make sure we got them. It would have been, I think, next year. This is not necessary, but we really appreciate it. We're happy to raise awareness to events. Happy to get our kids involved with them, volunteering for the community, and we have a lot of kids. And I want to say that there were so many people in the community who
just came out of the woodwork that wanted to help. Everyone was extremely helpful. A lot of high school, middle school kids happy to help. So we really, there's too many people to thank, but we really appreciate it. And Raven as well. She reached out and I was like, oh boy, you know, we have like 2 days left and it's, you know, all these orders are coming out to turn people away. But thank you very much for your help as well.
So, before I turn it over to Chief Chenoweth here, you know, obviously this was an incredibly successful fundraiser. I think, what was it, almost $12,000? Yeah, 11,500. And I know that you have a presentation that you want to make to the fire department for raising we're the world's largest all volunteer fire department. $4,000 in donations to our fire department, which is you know, well deserved for all that they do for our community. So you know, for all the praise that we have for them, for our police department, for everybody that's involved, for everything they love, this just goes to show you that these small little measures, when we first started talking about this, when we met via Zoom, had to be over a year ago now at this point, right? Is able to turn into something that is really going to benefit our community. And most importantly, and I think you touched on it best, is getting our kids involved in the community, because, you know, with the virtual world that we compete with, right? It's tough to see people go into and become firefighters. And, you know, we try and recruit them, but being active in your community is so critical at this time that we're all experiencing. So I want to thank you, especially not just for the donation, but for widening the perspective of so many young people into helping their community out. So I'm going to read this very quickly. The Middletown Township Committee hereby presents this Making a Difference Award to the Concordia family for donating over $4,000 to the Middletown Township Fire Department through your first annual Middletown Luminary Night fundraiser. With your dedicated and impressive teamwork, you successfully ignited our community spirit and raised nearly $11,500 that was divided between two important causes: our all-volunteer fire department and Middletown Helps Its Own. Thank you for spearheading this beautiful initiative during the holiday season and for lighting both the hopes in our hearts and the pathways of our neighborhoods. They always love to stick that last line in there to try and get me. Presented on this, the 18th day of January, 2022. Congratulations. Right in the middle.
There you go. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys. And this is the first Making a Difference award that we have presented. So there you go. Congratulations.
Good job.
Good to see you. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, no problem. 56, right? Engineers, yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Yes, Heidi, thank you. You know what, Craig's got everything memorized, rattling off. Huh? Would you take the day off and read and memorize these? All right, here we go.
Our next item on tonight's agenda, we have approval of minutes for October 4th, 2021 executive session, October 18th, 2021 executive session, November 15th, 2021 executive session, December 6th, 2021 executive session, December 20th, 2021 executive session, and December 20th, 2021 regular meeting. January 2nd, 2022 reorganization meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to approve minutes. At this time, we have an introduction of proposed ordinance 2022-3329, a bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $340,000 for various park acquisitions and improvements by and for the Township of Middletown, the County of Monmouth, New Jersey, and authorizing the issuance of $225,000 in bonds or notes of the township for financing part of the appropriation.
Motion to introduce.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on first reading with a public hearing to be held February 7th, 2022. At this time, I'd like to ask the Township Committee to adopt a consent agenda, which would include resolutions 22-46 through resolution 22-57, including firefighter applications for approval, and pulling 22-56 for a separate vote.
Motion to approve consent agenda.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt consent agenda. At this time, we have resolution 22-56, a resolution amending resolution 22-19, awarding professional services contracts for qualified consulting engineers.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Recuse.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Recuse.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes. Sorry.
Motion carries to adopt resolution 22-56 with recusal noted. At this time, we have Township Committee comments.
Committeeman Clark.
I'd just like to congratulate the officers on their promotions. Super proud of you guys, gals of our police department. One of the great things that we get to do up here is recognize public servants. Also, the Gorsinger family, I work with them quite often. The Infinite Love Foundation, and Natalie doesn't come out all that often. She just walked out, but the foundation was started because of her. And I've known her since through her fight, and she's a survivor. It's pretty awesome to see how that's grown. So I'm really glad that the town has the opportunity to spotlight a local. And that's it for tonight.
Thank you, Committeeman Clark. Committeeman Sedambrino.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just two items. I want to echo Committeeman Clark's congratulations for the police officer promotions. Every time this happens, it amazes me at the accomplishments of each one of the officers, and makes me proud to sit up here on this township committee and represent the township, knowing that we have such great officers on our front line. So congratulations to them. With regard to the Concordia family and the Gorsinger family, this is, we're going into, I guess now our almost the beginning of our third year with regard to dealing with the pandemic. And there are many things that have fallen off because they're difficult to achieve. There's been challenges with regard to raising money, with regard to doing things virtually. And this is the third year that the mayor's challenge has continued on. And between the mayor's challenge and the Middletown Movement Area Night, it was almost $20,000 that was raised from people in town to support good causes for this town. So that's an effort in and of itself, given the conditions that we have in Middletown and in the state today. So that's all I have for tonight, Mayor.
Thank you. Committeewoman Kratz.
I actually feel like you today, Mayor, because I'm in the middle this evening. So just to reiterate what my colleagues have said, just a proud evening for Middletown. It's one of my favorite evenings when we get to celebrate our fellow residents and our officers who have dedicated their lives and their spare time in our residents that would take the time to make our community better. So it was an honor to sit up here and honor them tonight. So thank you.
Thank you, Committeewoman Kratz. Deputy Mayor.
Yes, sir. So, again, everyone just said a lot here, but I just Sergeant Anthony Gigante, I think I'm saying it correctly. He's the second generation police officer, and I saw his son putting his pin on his.
No, Greenwood.
I'm sorry, Greenwood. Sorry. Thank you. You're putting his pin on his uniform. It's just amazing. Every one of these guys that came in here tonight had family that were somehow related to law enforcement. So it just goes to show how strong that is, and we all here will continue to support them in any way we can. Next, I do want to talk about something that was on the brought up tonight. The funding for Tyndall Park is put out there. I'm excited to see that project get underway and move forward with the improvements that are needed there. So looking forward to see that getting done. The Gorsinger family, always amazing. Every year they're always doing something. Myself and Committeeman Clark served with John Gorsinger. That's a working family right there. They all come out, and they come out to work all the time. John has been in the fire department for 50 plus years. I'm not riding the trucks anymore, but I bet he probably still is. So the guy and his whole family is workers. So hats off to them. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Just two quick things I just want to say about our police officers. You know, it truly is a great honor to swear in new police officers, promote police officers, and you know, this is now my 4th year sitting in this seat and having that opportunity. It never the moment always strikes, and it really is unbelievable because you know when a police officer is putting on that badge for that promotion or putting it on for the first time, they're not just putting it on for themselves. They're putting it on for their families, and you certainly have to pray for their safety and their family's safety each and every day, because wearing that badge is not just about them, it's wearing it for them as a family, and we certainly appreciate that. So I congratulate them. I thank them for their service and everything that they do for our community. The second thing I just want to say is was put out there to the public last week on Friday, and that was the township's partnership for Port Monmouth School. And I want to thank Joe Minuis and Frank Capone, who are here tonight. And without those two, without Joan and Frank, last year being Joan as the president, Frank as the vice president, that shared service wouldn't have happened. We are preventing the development of what could be upwards of who knows how many units on that property by working to conduct a feasibility study to not only save money when it comes to the school district in sending their kids for swim practices, swim meets, all those good things, but providing a place for all residents to be able to use. And that is something that we should all be really proud of, that two government entities can come together on something that significant on the border of Middletown, what really is the gateway into Middletown on Route 36. And as we move forward with our Route 36 redevelopment plan, having that feasibility study completed and done is really something that we should all be proud of. Not saying it's going to happen tomorrow, just want to be clear, but moving that in the right direction where we're able to do something that's good for our students and good for our community is a win, not just for our community, but for Middletown, for Monmouth County, and all the surrounding towns that we have here. It's a massive win for this township, and I'm proud to have their support, and I'm proud to continue to work alongside Joan and Frank. Thank you both. Really do appreciate that. With that being said, I'll close out my comments. Any member of the public wishing to make a public comment, we ask that you raise your hand and call on you one at a time. I'm going to start with everybody here at Town Hall. Just a clerical note. We did have our reorganization meeting in the new building, but due to some audio and visual things that were happening in the courtroom. We couldn't have the meeting in there tonight. We were just,
You don't want to talk about the stickers you put on the wall?
well, you know, aside from the 1,200 pieces of painter's tape of things to get done. But so that's why we're back here tonight. So with that being said, any member of the public, we just ask that you keep your comments to 5 minutes, state your name and address for the record. Any member of the public here at Town Hall wishing to make a public statement? Yes, sir. No, come right up to the microphone.
This affects all of us. So can we come as a group?
Well, you can come up as a group, but I would just ask for the record that if the 3 others would just, you can all sit in the front row, but we'll just take one at a time just for the record to be set as to who's saying what, okay? Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, committee, ladies and gentlemen.
Just your name, just your,
Krasinski, 653 Center Avenue, Belford, New Jersey.
thank you.
We attended a meeting in September, actually September 20th, where we addressed our concerns regarding significant flooding that is happening at the end of the street. Since that time, we understand you dispatched a team, namely Ian Ember, I believe he's the superintendent of work, to work on the project. On the 1st of October, he felt he secured the reason for the problem and felt that there was only a little bit of work to be done. That was fine, but then 2 weeks later, we had a flood again, and this time the water would succeed for 2 days. Normally, it was staying for a day and then going away. Now it's there for 2 days. We can't get our cars out of the driveway. We can't park on the street. This is a photo of what it looks like. I think I've shown these to you last month. It's literally a lake, and it's up to 1.5 feet. And now we have situations where it's wintertime, and this water will freeze, and then it becomes a major ice skating rink, and nobody will be able to get in and out of their driveways or up and down the block. And there's a major business at the end of the road that's severely impacted by all this flooding because they have vehicles that have to go back and forth.
Can you bring the pictures up to you, man?
So you want them up? You want
Just to see them real quickly. Well, I'll give them back to you. I just wanted to see them. Right.
So with that, we've been in constant communication with your office, with Mr. Mercantante, Ted Maloney, and we've had email chains going back starting from October 1st, the 26th, the 14th and 17th, and then yesterday when we were fearful that it was going to freeze, hoping that somebody would come out there and at least just pump it out if they can't find or fix the problem in the winter time. But we're not getting any answers, and we're working on it, we're working on it, we're working on it. Our neighbor who actually worked for United Rentals, John, who spoke at the last meeting, and made some suggestions. He's an environmental engineer, and he suggested a DBA pump with strainer just to clear the water so we can get in and out of our houses and get to work. I've been late to work 10 times since September because I cannot get my car out of the driveway to go down the street.
I'm just going to pause you for a second. Tony, what's going on?
Well, they have.
Why are they coming to this township committee meeting? That's
Because they're still doing work on it. In fact, I just so you're aware, I mean, they had some email discussions on Friday. Mrs. Lasinski said, you know, we know you've been working hard to resolve this, and they requested some information. Ian, then they said they're not available during the week because they work. So Ian then sent them an email back on Friday saying, just let me know and I'll be happy to meet you on a weekend so that we can, I can explain to you what we're in the process of doing. That was the last contact. But I did go out there today, and there was not, the water had pretty much gone today. By midday.
But in terms of a temporary solution, at least.
Yeah. I did see the email from Mr. Giannis, and I haven't spoken to Ted because he's been out, but He did suggest that potentially a pump could be placed in the street. Again, I don't know how effective that's going to be because I don't know if the water depth is enough. I know Ted is on. He may have been joining us remotely. So he may have looked at that option.
How long has this been an issue for us? Have you lived there for many years and this is a constant issue?
We lived in that home for 26 years and it's been happening, what, for you?
2019 was when it started, and it's not.
So something caused the problem. So,
Yeah.
Okay, I understand.
It did appear that there was something downstream that has happened that's the water's not getting out. And that's what's caused this. And I know they have done some work clearing that out, but more needs to be done. And it's our crews who are doing it.
But it's even the slightest rainfall, it will flood.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be a major rain where it's overnight or anything. It could be a 20-minute rainstorm and this is what happens.
So, go ahead.
So, Tony and Mayor,
Hang on one second, Ted. Go ahead, Kev.
Thank you. Were there any issues this past Monday, 2 days ago?
Yes. Yeah.
Were they similar to the photos that you showed us?
Yes. Actually, it was more so. It came further up our driveway, almost halfway up the driveway. There's more water.
Has it receded yet?
It's gone. It's gone now, yeah.
It took 2 days to receive.
Oh, no, I'm saying, yes, so it happened on Monday, so it took 2 days to receive.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's-
It was still left, there was still some left of this
And that's
morning.
fairly typical about the amount of time it takes.
It was a day. And now since they did whatever they were working on, it's 2 days, 2.5 days
So
before the water recedes and you can see the middle of the street.
So let me just bring in Ted real fast. Unless you have anything more.
no, there, thank you.
Go ahead, Ted.
so Mayor, we have been working on this and we know it's a major problem. I was out the last couple of days. This past storm, it's kind of hard to use that as a gauge because it was such an intense storm. But the residents are correct. There's a problem there even during regular rainfalls. So I am planning on meeting Ian down there and finding, there's a couple issues. I think there's a problem with the piping and there's a problem with the outfall and the ditch through which the outfall, the pipes discharge. So I want to get down there and take a look. If we have to add anything to the capital program to get any pipes replaced or anything dug out, we'll do that. But at first we have to come up with a design to figure out really where it's going.
Well, Ted, right now, my concern, what I think needs to happen is I think we need to figure out an interim solution because the capital program isn't going to start until March. And then by the time we get it bid spec and all that stuff, you're talking about months at that point. So what can we do in the interim that's going to alleviate this problem so that as we move forward through the rectifying the structural issue, whatever that may be, whether that's a pipe, blockage or whatever the case is, what can we do to fix it now so that these residents, aren't getting any breaks? We have to figure out an interim solution, whether that's a pump. I think we have to focus on that before we can focus on the long-term solution.
Well, that's right. And that's what we'll end up doing this week when I'm meeting him there. I think Thursday, I'm planning on meeting him down there. There's going to be some rain on Thursday as well. So that'll probably be the course is to come up with an interim solution and probably some clearing of the ditches. And then we'll come up with a long-term solution with a permanent fix to the whole problem.
Hey, Ted, where's the water going?
It runs into a ditch over towards, I think it's Beverly is the name of the street near the sewer authority, and it runs out that.
Beverly.
So
Beverly, right.
So just so I'm visualizing this and Mr. Nelson has a Google Maps up here. How many homes let's not use this past rainstorm. Let's use a previous rainstorm. Just tell me your street number again.
653.
620.
I have a picture here from January 2nd where it didn't rain.
Hang on, because I don't want to mess up this.
That was from January 2nd.
Yeah, I think I have
It
that.
was a tremendous amount. It was like just an hour's worth of rain.
I just want to make sure that we're sticking with the same person, just speaking just for the record, okay? So thank you for showing me that though. So what I want to know, Ted, is there's 653. Is 654 that corner right there?
647, 653, 647.
You're on the corner
This is for 653 here.
You have the pool in your backyard?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is
Thompson
here.
right here. Okay. So where's the ditch? Where's the Ted? Which on Ocean is the water going from Center to Ocean?
It's actually Beverly. It's misleading.
Or Beverly? I mean.
Yeah, it's centered to Beverly, right? I think, and I'm trying to pull up the map myself.
Yeah.
You know, I do have of course, we have a file.
Is this a that's not paper street or?
No, this is a real street.
That's just
real streets. I don't. That's just yard.
Does your property line just so because we're visualizing it, end at that fence line right there? In between you and your neighbor?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe Tom's on.
We're on the corner and they're on the corner of that very short block.
You two are on the corner?
John Giamis, who's not here this evening, he's
Okay.
next to us, so you have my house and John's, which is basically.
In between Crescent and Beverly?
Correct.
Okay.
May 659.
Okay, Ted, we had to figure out an interim solution to this issue. We can talk about capital all day, but we got to figure out where we can pump this water to just temporarily, so that when the water does get to this point, it's got to go somewhere.
Well, yeah, I don't think the plumbing is going to work, but we will come up with a solution. It's more about clearing out that it's essentially a stream behind the homes across Beverly. But you know, we do have a plan. We just have to get it back there and do some more work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I agree. We'll address.
So Ted, you're going to be out there on Thursday?
Yes.
What time?
I didn't talk to Ian yet. Probably in the morning.
Okay, get that time to Laura. I'm going to meet you out there.
Okay.
Because we got to come up to this. We got to come up with a solution, because you folks you shouldn't have to come back to the township committee meetings for this. That's not okay with me. So I'm going to meet Ian and Ted and myself. We'll go out there on Thursday, and I'm going to focus on a temporary solution for you, so that you're able to get out of your driveway without having to worry about your cars being wrecked. And then we will have to come up with a capital program to fix, or unless there's a way that we can fix it without capital, I'll do that too. But you know, you have a lake outside your house. You know, that's a small pond.
Great Lake Avenue soon.
Yeah. All right. Let me take a look at it on Thursday.
Okay, the other issue is when these happen, we do respond immediately, requesting a pump to come down. And I think was it once more the pump came? Twice. And it's been at least a dozen times where it's rained to this level.
And is it going up Beverly? Is the water going up Beverly?
It does, yes.
Even past those two drains that are in the middle of the roadway?
Because I'm normal.
Hold on one second. You're good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So thank you. You just come up, name, address for the record, and then you can tell me exactly what you're going to say.
My name is Laura Mel, 670 Center Avenue. I'm with Patty Owners, Laura and Mark.
Okay.
I've been there since 1998.
Okay.
And when we first moved into that home, they did construction on the road. They put the curbs in. Our storm drains are the very, very first storm drains all the way from the landfill. So all that water comes down and ends up in front of our house. When all that water's coming down, it's got to flow into those storm drains. Never have had a problem up until recently, the last 4 years. Even up till Sandy, after Sandy, we were still dry. As a walker, I can tell you that the water goes from Beverly, goes behind that area right there, along the fence line of the storage authority, goes all the way out to Harbor, and then flows out there. There's one big full pipe, and it's overgrown, it's full of litter. If you have a clogged drain, you got to get into the elbow to clear that drain out. And I really think that's one of our issues. It really needs to be dredged and cleaned out between the litter, the roots, and the overgrowth. It has become a problem. I've lost days at work. Boyfriend Jeff has lost days at work. We're both motorcyclists. We can't get out on our bike to go ride with friends because our street's flooded. Lost pay. I got to use vacation time because I can't go to work. So it has become an issue. I have also emailed, going through the Middletown website, the pictures and information. kind of laugh because I'm seeing signs at the end of Main Street on 36 about, are you hurricane ready? We have a hurricane, we're in trouble. So, you know, if this can be addressed, and I know it has been looked at, but really in depth, you know, our cars are sitting in water, our property is sitting in water, the trucks come through, we have wake coming up our driveways. So it has become an issue. Jeff is always out there sweeping the leaves and debris off the curb, trying to get it all clean, to keep the storage drain clean. But you can only do so much. The township's got to chip in and kind of lend a bigger hand.
Okay, I'm gonna take a look into it. Thank you for your comments.
My name is Mark Lazinski, 653 Center Avenue as well, Laura's husband. This problem has been getting progressively worse over the last 4 years. More recently, over the last 6 months, where it used to take a few hours for the water to go down. Now it's taking up to 2 days to go down. The problem now with the winter coming is when the water doesn't recede, it's going to freeze. I have several pictures taken from today where my sidewalk is cracked. The driveway entering the curb line is totally chipped away because the water just sits there, and now it has undermined the concrete. People can't walk on the sidewalk. I leave my house every day at 5:30 in the morning to go to work. So this morning's answer, I guess, to some of this problem was someone in the Department of Public Works sent a salt truck down to salt the area, which I also have pictures of if you want to see it. So now there's a ton of salt in the street, which is also adding to the corrosion problem. It's getting into the sidewalk. I have several pictures here if you want to see. They totally sprayed my car's sun with salt because it was in a bad spot. Salt was obviously laying in the truck over the weekend, I guess, and we had a ton of rain, and the salt that was spread was wet. So it has done damage to my son's car. Tremendous amount. It's chipped the paint. This is just today. So now, other than the flooding and the undermining of the sidewalk and all these other issues that come with it, now with the cold weather, we're into another problem. So this is what we've been dealing with on and off for 4 years. Most recently, over the last 6 months, it's gotten progressively worse. And we were here in September, and this was already brought to the committee's attention. And I have many dozens of conversations with Ian on my phone about the progress or lack of progress that he's making. And my patience at this point is exhausted. And I just think it's, you know, we taxpayers and the taxes have gone up and we're not seeing anything for our dollar.
Well, I'm gonna be out there on Thursday, with Ian. Kev, did you want to say
Just got one thing.
Yes, sir.
So I want to make sure I heard it properly. There was something that Public Works had done and it had gotten worse a couple of days ago. Did I hear that properly?
Well, the problem of throwing all the salt down on the road.
No, I'm not speaking about that. I'm thinking about the water receiving. You said that
It doesn't
Public Works had come out. Public Works had come out there and they had done something to mitigate the water and didn't help or gotten worse.
They bring a pump on a trailer.
Yeah.
And they pump the water down the street to another drain.
Yeah.
But they don't do that until the water is standing there.
Yeah.
Instead of, I have to watch the weather forecast every year.
Yeah, that's fine. I just want to make sure that mishear you.
They didn't do anything to make the problem worse. If that answers your question.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to all four of you. Thanks for your comments. Ted, you'll let me know when you're going to be out there?
Absolutely. I'll let you know. I'll let Laura know.
Okay. Any other member of the public? Yes, sir. Just state your name and address for the record.
Sure. Alan Silverstein, 10 Summerfield Court, Guilford, New Jersey. I'm not sure if this is the right forum. I don't know if I have a problem here or not, but it has to do with the Port Monmouth Flood Control Project. They're going to be starting, I guess, the final phase. I don't know if it's phase 4 or 5, whatever it's called. And essentially, from what I can tell, the diagrams I'm looking at, they're basically putting a perimeter around Port Monmouth. So when we have hurricanes and stuff, it doesn't flood. And I just started looking at this in detail, probably maybe about 6 to 8 months ago. I tried reaching out to the project manager for the Army Corps of Engineers. I tried calling him, emailing him, I got no response. But my major concern is, once they put the flood wall that goes up, it's gonna be running parallel to Main Street, Port Monmouth.
Yes.
Where is all that extra water gonna go, right? All the water's coming in from Compton Creek, and I'm looking at it, and it appears to me it's all gonna now, the problem is gonna be pushed into Belford. So again,
Tony.
Yeah, we've had long discussions with the DEP and the Army Corps of Engineers about that. While if you look at it, it looks like that would be the case. It's not the case at all. But the reality is that the water that's I live in Belford too, not far from you, and yeah, Belford is not protected by the flood control system. But the fact that that system is going to protect that section of the township, and as water accumulates, it's going to pump it back out into the bay, essentially. You would, in Belford.
Where's the pump gonna be?
There's a pump now on Port Monmouth Road. You've probably seen that one on Port Monmouth Road, down near Pewes Creek, down near the marina. That's one pump.
Pewes Creek, but that's on the other side. That's
No,
Pewes Creek.
this is a new one. There's a new one that was just built on Pewes Creek for Port Monmouth.
Yeah, I saw that.
Right, and then there's a second one that's going to be built at the end of Main Street, down towards the ball fields down there. So there'll be a second one there. And that, as water accumulates, they will pump water out of Port Monmouth essentially. But it'll have no noticeable effect on Belford, because the water that's in Belford is attached to the Sandy Hook Bay in the Atlantic Ocean. So that amount of water being pumped out of Port Monmouth would be impossible to measure, so small.
I know from my case during Sandy, I did not get any water in my house. I guess I'm high enough, I didn't.
Yeah, because yours is the new development, so
the water came real close, but it didn't. And I'm looking again, I know what you're saying, I'm just, how do we have, this was thoroughly studied by engineers?
Yeah, so for example.
If you want, I can set you up with what's his name?
No, you don't want to do that.
What's this guy's name?
Dave
Gentile. Dave, I will be happy to set you up with a meeting with Dave Gentile. He will talk you through every single parcel of this project.
Now,
That would be fine.
I'll give you an example.
No, because to me, it just looks like,
Yeah,
look at the diagram, it's, where is the water going?
when we first discussed this project with them, everyone thought the same thing. Well, if the water's not going there, it's got to be going somewhere else. North Middletown has been enclosed in a flood control system since the 1970s. It had them building that didn't make flooding worse in Port Monmouth. It's the same as it ever was. Now, when they build the system for Port Monmouth, it's going to be the same as it ever was in Belford and Leonardo. You won't notice any difference. They just will be dry.
You're talking about the berm pushing the water back down, right? Is that?
All the water on a storm surge.
Right.
All the water is going to come in from the bay, and Compton's Creek just overflows over the borders. And I guess it's Broadway and Church, there's a couple of areas there that are wide open like floodplains.
Yeah.
During Sandy, that was like an ocean.
Yes.
It will be again.
Back
I remember.
almost, touching up against that.
Well, would you?
It seems
if
like
you
you're putting a floodplain wall going up against Main Street. No water is going to dump into Port Monmouth anymore, which is great for Port Monmouth. I don't see how to handle.
So if you'd like, I'd be happy to set you up with a meeting with Tony, Dave, because this has been studied obviously by the Army Corps and by the State Department of Environmental Protection.
Okay.
I've sat through the meeting, and as somebody who lives in that, we've had all the public forums about this, going back to 2018, I think was the last time we might have had a public forum, but happy to set up a meeting. He has diagrams and slideshows and everything, I think that would answer all your questions. Okay, Laura, can you handle that? All right, Laura, we'll get your contact information. We'll set that up for you.
Set aside half a day.
Yeah, that's.
You're welcome, sir. Any member of the public? Yes, Bruce, come on down. Hey, Bruce, just to let you know, I had a call with the owner of Gateway, and he said, where's my guy Bruce Stafford at singing karaoke on Saturday nights? What's up, Bruce?
Tony, I have a question. I'm glad Ted is here. I didn't think he was here.
I had a question at your last meeting, December 20th.
Yeah.
On when the contractor was going to show up.
Ted?
For the control system. And Ted, you had asked him the question and to get back to me by December 23rd. I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, Bruce, the contractor is coming back out. We actually had an electrician go out there. It's an electrical issue at this point, and what we have to do now is replace the motor on the unit. And
The electrician out there on January 3rd with Susan, she was out there.
that's correct.
Susan Molzon? Okay.
Yes.
Just so I know what we're talking about here.
Yes, and at that time, they determined the motor has to be replaced on the unit. So we got the shop drawing from the contractor, and we're speccing out a new motor for the floodgate. Turns out the motor was overheating and causing the problem.
Hopefully we got to the bottom of it now because we're headed for 3 years since I reported the malfunctioning of that system. And I understand their situation here with the flooding, but in my situation, we're talking a minimum of 4 streets worth of residents. Did you get a date from them on when they're going to receive that motor? We're not going to go overseas for this motor now like we did for the shaft, are we?
Well, we're gonna get whatever motor we have to get, Bruce. That's gonna be the right one. It was a specific one spec'd out for that unit. So we got,
when it's coming?
I don't think we got we don't have an order yet. We have to get the specification from T&M. They're the ones that originally designed the project.
Okay, because Susan left me a message on January 13th in reference to that.
So you know?
Saying what?
About the motor, yeah, because I met up with them out there accidentally. For the third. And the electrician was up on the platform with Susan.
Yeah.
How you talked to her?
He indicated that he was pretty sure the motor was causing the problem, because I guess he did some voltage checks on it.
Oh, so yeah, I wonder why you were asking. I figured you knew that.
That's what I thought.
Well, the reason I'm asking is because Mayor Perry asked you to contact me by the 23rd. I haven't heard from you.
Ted, are we apprising Bruce so that he's aware of what's going on?
Well, we want to get the information to him and to everybody else, really, what's happening out there. But in the meantime, the gate's being operated manually. So I don't think there's many flooding issues on your street, have there, Bruce?
Fortunately, with the storm that we had over the weekend, I am very happy that they closed the slide gates at the marina because we did not get flooded.
They were closed, I think, by like 1 p.m. that day.
Now, I got flooded because water comes across Main Street. So
Yeah.
my backyard and up the one side of my house got flooded. Not up through the storm drains though on Brainerd because they closed the slide gates at the marina.
Yeah.
But while we're on that subject, I had a quick question too, because I dealt with DEP on it. DEP informed me that Middletown makes the decision on when to close those slide gates. Ted informed me that DEP makes the decision.
It's always been DEP ever since I first started getting involved with this. We always work in conjunction. It's almost actually like, well, DEP always is the entity, but it's always a coordinated effort between Middletown and the Department of Environmental Protection.
I know when we discussed it briefly at the last meeting, Ted indicated to me that he calls them and suggests that they close the slide gates.
It's always just a conversation because we're afraid that they're not paying attention, and we know what impact that the storms. When we met on Friday, I think we met Friday to have a discussion about the storm that was coming Sunday night. And at that meeting, we already knew that we had already had our conversation with DEP, knowing that the gates were going to be closed by 1 p.m. on Sunday. So for DEP to say it's Middletown is completely inaccurate. And I'm happy to say something to Kerry Fluff or whoever that it's always a coordinated effort between the town and DEP. Always. It has never been.
Whoever making the decision, I believe they're making the right one because I checked.
Well, then it's us, Bruce.
I mean, ideally.
DEP's got nothing to do with it, okay?
I mean, ideally, they should close them at mean low tide. When I say mean low tide, that means there's the least amount of water on that side of the floodgates, which allows all the meadows to take on all our water from the main,
So
which it should.
that's why I believe, and Ted can verify this, that they left the valve open on Wood.
Right. They did.
Allow the water
To go out.
And then when both pumps are in place, the water that does accumulate
Will be
will be
pumped
pumped out.
Right.
So it'll be even better than it is now.
Now, the only other comment that DEP made, and Ted disagrees with this, is DEP told me that that valve on Wilson will never, ever be obsolete. Ted indicated to me that it will be obsolete once they finish the flood project. DEP said we have nothing to do with that valve on Wilson Avenue, so that's your guys. They said
that, Bruce, that in effect is true. They have nothing to do with that valve, and they didn't put that into their calculations at all. I would say it's going to be unnecessary, I wouldn't use the word obsolete, because there may be times we want to use it for specific flood control of those streets, but it would not necessarily be obsolete. But it won't be used that often. It'll be mostly in the open position once all the pump stations are in.
which is fine, as long as if it's open, the slide gates are closed at the green.
Well, there'll be pumps too. Yeah,
Yeah.
Thanks, Ed.
All right, thanks, Bruce.
Thank you.
thank you.
Sir. Any other member of the public wishing to make a public comment here at Town Hall? Ben, anything? Ben, you good? Okay. All right, any member of the public? Yeah, I see you, Don. Don't worry, I'm coming to Webex. Hey.
Good evening. My name's Don Watson, living at 1 Collinson Drive. It's amazing that Bruce is still coming into township committee meetings after almost 10 years, maybe more than 10 years. You know, he's still getting his street flooded and looking for action. But anyway, I congratulate Bruce for stopping in. What I wanted to Bruce, I hope he didn't leave yet. It's too bad that people from It's too bad them people from Belford didn't hang around to listen to his story. And I hope they don't run into the same situation that he's been confronted with. But anyway, I'm looking at this bond ordinance you introduced tonight, and I'm a little perplexed because we just raised the open space trust fund fees, and we're still borrowing money to purchase land or make improvements to our parks. Can you maybe explain why we're doing that?
So when we increased the open space tax in 2000, when we voted on it
last year
in 2020, it raised it, just by way of background for everybody else, it raised it from 2 cents per $100 of equalized value to 3 cents per $100 of equalized value, which prior to the implementation of the ordinance in March of 2021, that meant we were bringing in approximately $2.235 million per year into the open space trust fund. The increase brought it to about $3.3 million. The idea behind that is you can bond for the money and then pay the note utilizing the open space trust fund, which means that you're able to take your dollar and go for it longer. You don't build a bridge and use cash for that, because the bridge is going to last for 50 years. You utilize the bond so that you're able to do one, more projects, and two, there's no need to have to utilize cash for the projects, because you're able to stretch your dollar farther by paying the note off on a yearly basis.
But it also stretches out interest on the notes or bonds that we're issuing. Correct?
Right, but again, it's not municipal debt in the sense that it's coming out of our general budget. It comes out of money specifically set aside for open space. So it's not like a typical bond ordinance where we would pave a street, for example. This is paid for from a dedicated source of revenue.
Yeah, we want to stretch every dollar. I mean, and Don, every single project that we do, take a look at the playgrounds we did last year, right? You did 3 different playgrounds, each of them costing, or the whole thing, I guess, in the end, costing around what, Tom, $300,000 or so? $300,000 for 3 playgrounds. Now, those are things that, you know, are going to last a significant amount of time. They're not going to last forever, but they're going to last a significant amount of time. But the idea behind it is to stretch your dollar farther. Now, getting to this specific note, this is a Green Acres loan / grant, and this is the 4th phase of that project. So there's all different requirements that are required. So it's not necessarily just an open space program. It's a Green Acres program.
Okay, I understand it. I was just hoping you would explain it for those who don't.
How'd I do?
Yeah, pretty good.
All right, thanks, Don.
Okay, no problem. Also, on this resolution, you don't have resolution numbers on your resolutions here. Hold on.
I'm sorry, Don. After you gave me kudos, pretty good. I misspoke. This is phase 2 of 4.
Oh no.
Phase 2 of 4. This is not phase 4. This is 2 of 4. But go ahead.
Oh man. And that's for Tyndall Park, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Item number 7, resolution 2246. We're giving the county some land down in Port Monmouth. Do you know, well, I'm sure you do, but can you tell us what parcels of property we're giving to the county?
This is with regards to the flood project. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are certain properties and easements that have to be obtained to do the flood control project. And some of those properties are going to wind up becoming county property. So that's really all it's about. They're not going to be developed or used in any way. They're just going to remain open space or be used as part of the flood control system. So there's going to be a lot of this going on for the next 6 months to a year.
Right. So give me a couple examples of parcels of land down there that we're turning over to the county.
Well, I couldn't say off the top of my head, but there are numerous properties where they're going to be partially impacted by the levee and by the wall construction. And so some of those we have to grant easements to the county and I mean to the Army Corps to build the project. And some of those properties ultimately are going to become part of the county's Bayshore Waterfront Park and fall under county jurisdiction ultimately.
Yeah, I mean, I think the long story short here was that when we discussed this, anything that was bordering county property, we were just going to transfer over because there was no reason for the township to maintain ownership over these easements, given that we have to then insure them, potentially maintain them, do all these different things, when if they're just adjacent, especially obviously the big one to Bayshore Waterfront Park, it just makes sense to turn that over to the county.
So the county's getting the land turned over to them ultimately, but in exchange for that, the county's doing all the legwork, if you will, negotiating the easements and the acquisitions of the properties.
Well, further on in the resolution, it looks like the county's going to be doing all that negotiating.
That's what I said.
That's exactly right.
They're doing that so that we don't have to do it. And in exchange for that, we're willing to turn over the parcels that we have control over to the county to make them part of their park.
It's saving the town money because we don't have to utilize legal.
You would have to hire they have a whole
appraisals,
surveyors, appraisers, and lawyers.
Yeah, so it's just easier for us to just turn it over to the county, given the proximity it is in some instances to the county properties.
Right. Okay. So late last year, we gave permission to the administrator and the township attorney to do this negotiation. So I guess you realize that it was easier for the county to do it.
We're involved in it. We're involved in it, but there's a lot of legwork involved in going back and forth between the property owner and the appraiser, the property owners and the surveyors, and the DEP is involved in it every step of the way. The county have a whole staff that already do this throughout Monmouth County. So rather than us trying to reinvent the wheel,
Right.
people here do it, they have the capabilities. So they're willing to do that and save us some money and time probably. And in the end, their Bayshore Waterfront Park just becomes a bigger park.
And isn't that park on the north side of Port Monmouth Road?
No, if you look at their map for Bayshore Waterfront Park, they own substantial areas of wetlands on the south side of Port Monmouth Road as well. This will attach all to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to stop in one day, I'll show you a map.
Mostly all.
So you can see what we're talking about. It's easier to see on a map than talk about it without a map.
Right.
Just let me know.
I'm kind of familiar with the area, but and I can look up the map, I guess, online. But so I got to go to work during the day while you're working, so I won't have the opportunity for you to show me any of that stuff. But I think that's about all the questions I have for tonight. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks, Don. Have a good day. Okay, any other member of the public wishing to make a public comment?
No other hands.
Seeing no other member of the public stepping forward, move to close the public portion and adjourn. Seconded by Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to adjourn.
Have a good night, everybody. Thank you very much.